Tom was trying to take a peaceful nap in his favorite armchair when a large piece of the ceiling plaster broke off and landed right on his head. He spat out dust, looked at the shabby, worn-out living room, and made a decision. It was time for a change. Tom proudly unrolled a giant poster titled Makeover Magic. It showed a beautiful, modern room. Jerry, peeking from his mouse hole, was amused. But then he saw the new design included a shiny, automated MouseVac 3000 right where his hole was. His amusement turned to determination. Tom, holding a "We Can Do It" poster, pointed at Jerry. Jerry just folded his arms. Tom then revealed a giant wheel of delicious-looking cheese labeled Project Manager's Bonus. Jerry's eyes lit up. A deal was struck, but this partnership was built on very thin ice. Tom tried to measure the room with a long piece of string. Jerry, helping, kept untying the knots or pulling the string, making Tom spin in circles. The final measurement was completely wrong, and Tom ended up tied to the sofa like a present. They started with painting the walls a nice blue. Tom used a giant roller, while Jerry used a tiny brush. Of course, a paint fight erupted. Soon, the walls were a mess, and Tom and Jerry were both completely covered in blue and yellow paint, looking like strange, walking sculptures. Tom tried to put together a flat-pack bookshelf. The instructions were confusing. Jerry, pretending to be a helpful robot, would hand Tom the wrong tools: a banana instead of screwdriver, a feather duster instead of a hammer. Tom was getting more and more frustrated. Tom found the nail gun. Asterisk pow. 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 Asterisk nails shot everywhere, pinning the curtains to the wall and trapping a terrified Jerry by the tail of his shirt to the floor. Tom, trying to free him, accidentally nailed his own tail to the floorboard too. They were stuck together. They decided to hang wallpaper with super strong glue. The sticky sheet fell on top of them, and they rolled across the room, completely wrapped up in floral patterns. They looked like a wriggling, two-headed wallpaper monster trying to escape. Tom needed to plug in a new lamp. Jerry, seeing his chance, secretly rewired the plug. When Tom plugged it in, a huge jolt of electricity shot through him, making his skeleton glow brightly and his fur stand straight on end like a grumpy cactus. Tom stood on a wobbly ladder to install a new ceiling fan. Jerry, below, decided the ladder made a perfect teeter-totter. He jumped on the other end, sending Tom flying. Tom landed right in the fan blades, which spun him around like a runaway merry-go-round. A tiny drip turned into a big project. Tom tried to fix a leaky pipe with a wrench. He turned the wrong valve, and whoosh, a powerful jet of water burst out, quickly filling the room. Tom and Jerry had an impromptu swimming lesson in their own living room. They began laying down new wooden floorboards. Tom would hammer a board in place, and Jerry, from underneath the floor, would pop right back up through the cracks, waving hello. The floor ended up looking like a wavy, bumpy roller coaster. Tom assembled a new table, but it was so wobbly it would collapse if a fly landed on it. Jerry, trying to be sneaky, tiptoed past, but his shadow touched the table, and it instantly fell into a neat pile of flat boards again. The room was a complete disaster zone, wet, painted, and full of broken furniture. Exhausted, Tom hung a single, crooked picture on a nail. He stepped back to look, slipped on a stray marble, and crashed into the one wall that was still clean. As Tom lay in the wreckage, he heard sound. He looked up. The owner of the house was giving a tour to a friend. The friend said, "Wow, what a unique deconstructed style. So modern and artistic." They loved it. Tom and Jerry, tired but triumphant, sat together on the one surviving cushion. They looked at their chaotic, artistic living room. It was a mess, but it was their mess.